Hello and welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you being here. Today, I want to talk to you about what I've been up to. So, now that we are almost in the last quarter of the year, actually, we are in the last quarter of the year, I've been busy doing some planning to get ready to finish off the year, but also for next year and thinking about what I want in my life, in my relationship, in my business, in my world, and how I'm going to go about creating that. Now, the funny thing that happened for me, I was doing this a couple weeks ago. I was heads down, really focusing on what I wanted to create for the rest of the year. And of course, life got in the way. And when life got in the way, it reminded me something that was the most important piece of thinking about creating my life and what I wanted that I had not been doing. So today, I want to talk to you about what that missing piece is and how and why we need to make sure this is a part of the way we move through life and in creating our relationships and in creating what we want for ourselves. All right. So, hi. If you don't know who I am, I'm Mariette. I am a relationship coach and I help people to reignite their relationship, bring back the love by reconnecting to yourself. So, a lot of what I focus on is why are we not creating the relationship we want? And it's usually because we have to do the inner work that's in the way of allowing us to really have and create and connect to the people we love. So, today I wanted to talk to you about this one missing thing that I realized was showing up in my life when this circumstance happened to shake everything around my family and what's going on in our lives. And that's values. So, what are values? What are values? And so, for me, I've always talked about values and the importance of values and really was clear about what was important to me and what values were leading and guiding me in my own life. And when I had this circumstance over these last few weeks, it really brought to the forefront to me how a lot of that was could be lip service at times. I was always saying what my values were, but what I realized is that those values were not aligned to the actions I was taking every day in my life and with my relationships and with the things that I wanted for myself. So let's backtrack a little bit. What is a value? What actually does that mean? And I know many times I've, tried to explain it to myself, to other people, to look at it and to understand it and read about it and get information around it. And here's a simple way that I read that kind of sums up what a value is. So basically, it is the regard that something is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So if we value it, we give it the importance, we give it the time and something we want to create. It also means a person's principles or standards of behaviors, one's judgment of what is important in life. So if we value something, we put that as a priority. We do things around it because it's important to us and we want whatever that value is. So many of us, I think what I realized, and particularly with myself, is that we say, family is important, or we say our relationship's important, our marriage is important, um, being present in the moment, being kind, whatever the thing that is important to us, but we're not always aligning our actions, and we don't even necessarily know we're not aligning our actions. So today, I'm going to share what my values are and how I'm going to go about aligning my values to my actions. So, this is the piece for me that is my focus of really not what my values are, but how am I taking action every day to align those actions to become that creator of what I want in my life. And then I want to talk about what that means for you. Okay, so my values are connection. Surprise, surprise. Everything I do is for connection. Connection has always been the guiding force for me to connect to the people I love, to connect to my husband and my children, to connect to my family and my friends, and you. I mean, this is why I do what I do here, because I value connection. I want to connect to people and to and to share and hear and be, heard and seen and loved, and all the things that to me connection means. And this is one of them, is showing up here to connect to you. And this is something that was one of the ahas, of course, is that I stop myself from connecting here because I feel like I have to show up ready and in a certain way. And what I really want to do is just show up. I want to show up and show you that I'm here. I want you to know that I want to connect to you and that I'm open to you connecting back to me. I mean, this is what I ultimately want and why I do what I do. So connection is a very, very number one priority value for me. And when I think about how my day looks, that's always going to be, and I'll talk about this next actually, of how I actually align my actions. So connection is my first value. My second value is growth. And I don't think that's very surprising either. I have, my path has taken me along the route of understanding that growth is how I must live if I want to be the creator of love, of connection, of all things I want. I have to grow and get past the things that are in my way. So over the, like I said, when these circumstances came up in my life over the last week here, um, there were huge moments of growth, and there continues to be huge moments of growth. And I have to take the time to really, I don't have to, I want to. It's what I want to do. I want to understand what's in my way. When I'm hitting up against a trigger, when I'm hitting up against something that is stopping me in my tracks, when the circumstances outside of me, are showing up, it is always teaching me something of how I am meant to grow. So, growth to me is most important to me, along with connection, and it is the guiding principle to what I do here and what I do with my clients and what I do in my coaching business. So, connection and growth are always aligned for me in my business, in my life, and what I want most out of everything. Now, there is one more, and this one is something that I've realized has been missing that I really wanted to add into the way I'm moving forward for this last quarter and forward into next year. And that's aliveness. Now, aliveness is, and I don't even know where I got this word, but it's really about being very present in the moment and feeling alive as you go through life. So, one of the things that for me has always gotten in my way, when my values aren't aligned, when I'm feeling out of sorts, when things aren't going right, is I distract. I get, disconnected from everything and everyone, which goes absolutely against what is important to me. And it's in those moments that I know that the aliveness for me is not there. I've really disconnected. I'm not present. And so this is something that I value. I don't want to live my days without being alive. I want to be fully alive and I want to be fully present and I want to be able to embrace whatever shows up. Life is filled with all sorts of things and they aren't always what we consider good. But I think they're all important and they're all necessary. And I want to live and be alive as I'm facing them. So this is something, the other aha for me, that was really the way forward that I wanted to to bring back, and I'd forgotten about this aliveness feeling, and noticing that I tend to choose to deaden really my life in moments when I'm disconnected or I'm overwhelmed or something's happening. So, this is my growth right now, and something I'm going to be focusing on. So, connection, growth, and aliveness are my values. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you today. So, first, what are values? What my values are, and how are we aligning actions to our values and why that's so important. So, whenever we have values, and I was listening to someone speak, and she was saying how she's always had this value of family. Family was a very important value for her. Yet, she didn't, in her business, didn't let people have, like offer immediately to give them time off when their family was needing something, or to make time in her schedule to make sure she was present with her kids and did things with them when she wanted to be around them, instead of being half there and half somewhere else in her mind. So she realized she wasn't aligning the actions she was taking every day to make the value of family be important, to be what she focuses on. And when she said that, I realized, that is how we need to move forward day to day, to really check in with ourselves when we're thinking about how we next steps. How do I align my values with how I want to move forward? So for me, the three ways I want to do that is I want to show up and connect with you here. I want to show up even when it's uncomfortable, when I'm out of sorts, or when something's not ready or clear. I still want to show up, because showing up and connecting with you is a huge priority for me. It is my one of my main values. So that's what I want to do. Now, so I want to connect with you. I want to connect with all the people in my life. And that means, stopping and pausing also to make sure I have that time to connect. The second thing I want to do is to keep showing up for myself and being open to growth. This is something that I've always prioritized. I do my work. I notice what triggers me. I notice and uncover what message it's telling me that I need to grow. So this is how I live my life. And I want to continue to do that. And the tools that I use to teach in my business help you to do the same thing, to really be conscious of what's getting in your way, and why it's getting in your way, and what growth you are ready for. So growth is one of those amazing things there. It's hard when we hit up with the awareness that we're ready for growth, but we only hit up against it when we are ready. So embracing it is what we need to learn. And how do we get out of our way of embracing that? So I continue to do that, and will continue to show up showing you how to do that here. And the third thing I want to do is to get outside when I'm feeling out of sorts, right? So, like I said, I tend to pull away and distract from everything. I know when I get outside and I'm watching birds and trees and the sunlight and the rain and whatever's outside around me brings me back to the present moment. And that's really something I know has got to be the trigger for me to shake up when I'm stuck, so I can get back to feeling alive, not disconnected, but connected to myself, connected to the people around me, connected to life, and to live more fully. And that might be not avoiding the emotions that are ready and needing to be felt, or not avoiding coming on a YouTube video because I'm not ready. And instead of pulling away and shrinking, I want to show up fully. So those are some of the actions that I'm going to be taking. Now, the last thing I wanted to just ask you is, what are your values? What's important to me? And there are many, many places you can access different values that many people have. There's lists of them to help you shake up and figure out what yours are. I can put a link to that in the description. And then ask yourself, how can I align my actions with my values? So if these are my values, and we tend to want to think and have many, many values, but it's very hard to align our actions and prioritize them when we have too many. So try to narrow it to three values that are really important to you. And then think about what are the actions that I can take every day to make sure I'm aligning my action with those values. And then the last one, reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody. I'm choosing to also reach out for support in the things that I know that are getting in my way of connecting the way I want to. And I think it's important that we all notice what's in the way of us aligning our actions to the values we want. And do I need to get support? And I am here to support you if I and what I offer will help you move towards what you want and align those actions with your values. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate that you're here. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love you to leave them in the comments below. And cheers to connection, growth, and aliveness, and whatever values you have. All right. Bye for now.